I heard you interviewed, it must have been that little window between Obama's election and Obama's inauguration by Bill Moyers 2 years ago. This is when they were still talking about Agricultural Secretary Michael Pollan.
Yeah, what a crazy
There was
idea.
a thought that maybe they would turn to someone like you. In fact, they turned to now Secretary Vilsack, who was formerly Governor Vilsack of Iowa, who I believe actually may have been a farmer or had some connection to the farming industry himself.
He eats, I think.
Is that what it is? Well, in that respect, we are all farmers. Is that right? So you in declining the overtures of some to go into the administration, now have sat outside and watched how the last 2 years have gone. Has this been a good administration for food and for food consumers?
Much better than the previous. I mean, I think that there's some really important things that they've done. I don't want to overstate them because they're still not major. They don't constitute any kind of major reform. But this food safety bill, very, very important progress. And it needs. By the way, this doesn't even affect meat. This only affects produce and eggs and things like that. Meat we have to deal with the USDA on. One of the fallacies of the food safety system is it's 17 different agencies have a hand in it, and that's still true. Right. Child nutrition. They just passed and will be signing next week a very good bill to raise the standards of school lunch nationally, to get junk food out of the schools.
This has been a big issue for you as well, right?
And that's a big victory. Both Obamas worked very hard on that, and that is, I think it's a big deal. There's not enough money in it. I think it's got $5 or $10 billion over so many years, which comes to about half an apple per kid per day, I think.
Every little bit helps.
Yeah, but every little bit helps. But the main thing is the standards, the new standards, that you won't be able to have vending machines full of junk food in schools, and I think that's very important. And then on other areas, there's been a lot of support for the local food economy. More money for farm-to-school programs, more money for farmers markets.
Well, in fact, Mrs. Obama herself has planted a vegetable garden, right? I mean, she's the embodiment of this movement.
Yeah, she, in a way, she has done the most in terms of advancing the conversation about healthy eating. The garden, I think, was an enormously important symbol, and it sparked a renaissance of home gardening. Right. And she has kind of put a spotlight on this issue that I think has been really important. And first ladies have a way to, have an ability to do that. And I think she's trying to redefine our sense. In the same way Laura Bush said that, reading to your kids is a really important part of being a good parent. Simple message, but powerful message coming from a, uncontroversial person. Michelle Obama is really making the point that being a good parent is not giving your kid the happy meal, but it's cooking a meal at home and healthy food. So I think that's very important. Have they tackled the subsidy system? No, they haven't. They made a little bit of a hint, faint in that direction and back way off. Maybe in the next budget.
Well, in fact, he talked about it though during the campaign, and right away he said, "Look, if you're making $2.5 million a year as a farmer, you probably don't need subsidies." But in fact, they haven't made much progress because the lobby in favor of keeping those subsidies, pretty powerful lobby.
It's you're up against the whole food system because, in fact, the real lovers of subsidies are not farmers so much as big agribusiness processors because they like cheap raw materials. I mean, that's the foundation of their business model. But maybe we'll see some work on that. I mean, as I see it, Vilsack and the USDA are basically doing their best to placate everybody. They're trying to have it both ways, and politically I understand that. I don't think Obama has enough wind at his back yet politically to make radical changes.